Dobrý dámy a pánové, vítám dnešního dílu For Auld Lang vedlejší questy. Dneska se pojáme na quest, který jsme For Auld Lang Syne, což nevím, co překladu znamená. Každopádně tenhle ten quest začíná tím, že musíte mít jako společníka Arcana Gannona a musíte s ním nazbírat 5 companion pointů, který vlastně sbíráte tím, že děláte něco, co se mu líbí a co vás obdivuje za to. Každopádně tady třeba, když promluvíte...
A pleasure to meet you. I'm Dr. Thomas Hildern, Director of Operations.
Něco kecáte. To je vlastně tady to jedno, co se kecáte, a akorát...
We spoke earlier.
Hildern is a good example of big picture obsession gone too far. At some point, he became so fixated. It's an inhumane kind of public service when people and the kind of you to say, but there are better people. I need to talk to you about something, if you have a minute.
Any day now? Caesar's going to try to march. We're getting caught up in something important out here. Hell, after how you handled Benny, you're practically right. I know I'm just along for the ride, but it's made me think about the past. I wasn't always with the followers, or with the... My late father was an officer in a group called the Enclave. A remnant. Memories being short around here, not a whole lot of people remember them. But they did bad things. Eventually someone stopped them. I was born a few years later at a military base on the... A lot of different places. I only know what I was told. Some of them were cut down by the NCR, and my mother never told me what happened to my father, but she and I went south with some others and integrated. When the NCR learned that Enclave personnel had integrated, we kept moving to the fringes. After the Enclave's command structure fell apart, it was only a matter of time before Navarro was over. My mother and I left with some of the troopers from my father's old unit, the same people I've kept in contact. Anyone who didn't get out was killed by the NCR. Even some of the ones who escaped were eventually hunted down by the brothers. The Enclave did a lot of bad things, but there were good people at Navarro. Good people with... Not many of them are alive anymore, but I think they can make a difference in the fight against Caesar. That's a hard question to answer. I know I don't want the lead, so militarily, yes, I want them to help NCR. If possible, I'd like to figure out a way to help the NCR win Hoover Dam without holding new... Great! I'd like you to talk to the old-timers, the remnants. I don't think I can convince them by myself. To them, I'm still a kid. But you're a big part of what's happening out here. When you talk to them, they'll understand how important this all is. I've kept in contact with them over the years, so I know where you can find them. But I doubt they'll open up to you unless I come along. I know I'm not always the most serious guy around, but this means a lot to me.
Teď dostanete ten quest For Auld Lang Syne. Každopádně musíte ještě splňovat jeden z... musíte být pokročilý v hlavním příběhu. Ať už je to buď za Mr. House, nebo je to za Jesmera. Každopádně to máme to, teďka si musíme promluvit s pár lidma. Začneme třeba tady.
Well, it's about damn time. What took... I've been in the Reaper's shadow for a long time now, and I thought he'd finally showed up to collect. Thought I recognized the fellow with you. So what's this reunion? Well, now there's an interesting idea. Do a bit of good before we're all dead and forgotten. Oh, and in case Arcade forgot to mention it, there's a 5-word passphrase needed to get into the bunker. My word is old. Appropriate, huh?
Okay.
If I had to pick anyone who didn't belong in the Enclave, it would definitely be Johnson. Day to day, week to week, he would question orders, subvert mission objectives, do anything he could to serve without serving. It's amazing he was never court-martialed. He always had good things to say about my father. Said I grew up without him. I'll always feel like it's not like I'm the only kid in the wasteland who's grown up without a dad. I've if that's the only thing about me that's like him.
OK, tak to máme jednoho. Tak, jo, máme další Jacobstown.
Welcome to Jacobstown, human. And if you're into yard.
Tady jsou ti slušní supermutanti.
Another human. One was enough.
Tady je doktor.
Yep. I assume this is about something important? You must have something important in mind. I'm willing to go to... Help me get my research to a stage where I can hand it over to my assistant, Calamity, and then...
Jo, takže tohle nepůjde, dokud neuděláme... Quest.
Again, you interrupt. The Nightkin have varying degrees of mental instability. I'm currently investigating the local... I've also gotten my hands on a working Stealth Boy Mark II. I'm not convinced that the Night Stalker mutation is... Some of the super mutants have looked around as well, but they... Lily might be interested in coming with you. She's lost a few of her...
OK, to je zase quest někdy jindy, každopádně, tady to skipneme trochu. Tak, vezmeme to vy,
Is there something else I can do for...
Mělo fungovat už.
I'm intrigued, so I'll go to this reunion. I'll be... Oh, you'll need my word from the passphrase to get into the bunker.
Doc Henry always was a hard one to figure out. It didn't seem to matter whether he was working with humans. He had an equal lack of affection for both. A regular doc... Knowledge is power, but to what end for Henry, I have no idea. He simply solved riddles because they exist. Not everyone dreams of being a revolutionary, I suppose. Maybe it's enough just to do good for the short time that we're here. No one's going to sing Doc Henry, but he's probably saved more lives than I have.
Tak. Máme teda za další.
So I hear the hunter of one of them strip families up and disappeared. Poof. Yeah.
You don't strike me as someone down on their luck. Hello, Arcade. Why the need for a bunch of old war horses? Swooping in on a vertibird, guns blazing? None of this means a thing if the rest of the group does. Oh, and you'll need my part of the passphrase to get into the bunker.
They'll find his body some...
Judah Krieger is the glue that's kept us all together over the years. And anyone who can command Moreno and Johnson in the same unit without somebody getting fragged is one hell of a leader. Krieger was polite and kind, but never warm. I think he did it out of a sense of loyalty to my father. Not loyalty to the Enclave, or even the ideals they fought for, but to the people who... Sometimes I wonder how much of my father they see in me. They went through a lot together. I'm glad they've watched out for me all these years.
Tak, teďka nám chybí ještě poslední.
Ugh, looks like I forgot to lock the doors again. If you're... Been a while, Arcade. So, what's the point? Is that right? The $1 million... I wouldn't mind cutting down a few platoons of NCR. All right, then. I'll show up at this gathering of yours. Arcade might have mentioned there's a passphrase needed to get into the bunker.
Moreno took the fall of the Enclave hard. He never questioned his orders, never questioned... To him, it was all one unbroken chain, from Washington to Richardson. He said, "Kiss America goodbye, boys." When we left the Enclave behind, the love in him... I suppose you're right. When you're part of something for that long, Moreno may be a stubborn son of a bitch, but...
Tak. Takže teďka se akorát dostat do bunkru. Nebo co mám vlastně za úkol. A ještě máme dvě jako easy, takže wait.
Fine weather
Easy.
for flying. It told you everything about us, did he? Well, it's been a while. There's a chance I could crash us in the middle of Lake Mead. But if I get one more chance to fly...
Okay.
Since my mother died, Daisy's been the only woman in my life. She flew him out on over a dozen missions. There have been some good men along the way, but lovers make poor confidants. Being in the Enclave didn't mean much to her. She just loved the... As screwed up as it sounds, at least she was a part of something. Granted, it was something... If you spent the first half of your life flying Enclave troopers in a vertibird, I suppose picking over pre...
Tak jo. Tak, jdeme na ten bunkr další. Tady. Oh, okay. Dear old friend, remember Navarro. Pararam. To bychom měli. Ty vole, ty oblasti tady. Můžeme nějaký nechat potom.
So, glad to see you made it here all right. Then that's the plan. We're gonna have a problem with Moreno, though. You've got only one chance at this. I know Moreno. Once he's... Oh, I hear the honcho of one of them strip families up and disappeared. Poof. Yeah, they'll find his body someday.
I didn't come all the way out here just so we could save the fucking NCR.
Mám je teda 80 speech test.
I can't believe you've actually talked me into this. Fine, I'm in. But don't expect me...
Thanks for doing this. Getting them all back together. I'll be honest, when Moreno started going off, I didn't think we'd... I still don't know how this is all gonna shake out in the end. But at least the Enclave can atone a bit for all the damage it... I've been wondering about Daisy and the others for so long, I mean, I'm not like them. I was born at Navarro, and my father served with them, but I wasn't really... It seems presumptuous of me to think I could join the fight, even if this is a cause, because I know when fighting breaks out of the dam, all hell is going to break loose in Freeside. Good point. You've been encouraging the others to stand up and fight. There's something I need to go do, but I'll catch up with you later. Thanks again for your help with the...
Tak, máme 3 steampacky. Vsadili jsme ho. Vrátil se do Freeside, jo.
a stubborn son of a bitch, but he's also tougher than any of us. I'm glad you were able to talk him into staying. Since Whitman will be staying with the vertibird, she's offered to give her old suit of power on. You'll need special training to use it properly. The training might take several hours, so keep...
Okay.
I appreciate you keeping Orion in the group. And since I won't be needing my armor, it'll take a few hours to show you how.
No, to už máme naštěstí trénink, takže se jako... Jo, a to bychom teda měli ten quest. Dostali jsme Remnant's Power Armor, že si ji nenasadím. A máme tady něco, jako special zbraň. Ne, ale ukažte, no, krásný Power Armor. No nic, každopádně tohle pro tento díl bylo to všechno, já doufám, že se vám tento díl líbil, pokud nám dejte like, pokud ještě nemáte to odběr, určitě tento díl sdělit svým přáteli, no a pro tento díl už teda čus.